on this mountain to the white light on my street. From picking on this old banjo, the guitar sitting on my knee. Yeah. For the love and respect of the music, this is bridging the gap. For the love and respect of the music, this is bridging the gap.
This is Bridging the Gap. I am your host, John Acuse. Here on the show, we want to bridge that gap of respect and understanding from bluegrass, country blues, rock and roll, and heavy metal. And we are on our way to Epiphone Headquarters in Nashville, Tennessee. I'm John Acuse. I'm here at Epiphone Headquarters. I'm here with Mr. Reed. But the last name is the same.
Well, find those kind of things. Things Google me and find me. I am what's left of Dr. Epiphone. Welcome. What are we doing here? We're talking about guitars. You play guitar, don't you? Your name is John. Nice to meet you. I'm Will. How you doing?
Will.
Hey, what a coincidence running into you here with a camera on.
Could you give us just a slight history on Epiphone or what you do at Epiphone?
Well, what I do is still up for debate, but Epiphone's been around since 1873. We started in Sparta, Greece. Our founder's name was Anastasios Statopoulos. He moved to Turkey early in his Lutheran career. Oh, I got that word out today. That's good. And that's where he met his wife. I understand that you know some folks from Turkey. And he moved to the U.S. with his young family in 1903 and started making instruments in 1904 in New York City. And under the brand name of A. Statopoulos, which was short for Anastasios, because the last name was long enough as it was. And then he brought his sons into the business. And when it became House of Statopoulos. And then when Anastasios passed in 1915, his oldest son, Epiphone Statopoulos, took over the company, along with his brothers Phrixo and Orpheus. That's Orpheus, not Morpheus. Morpheus was in the Matrix movie. And they decided that they needed a new brand name because House of Statopoulos was kind of old-fashioned and stuffy sounding. It was the new jazz age and all this stuff. They wanted to be cool and hip, as you could be in the 1920s. And so he took, Epiphone took his nickname, which was Epi, oddly enough, and the Greek word for sound, which is phone, that word, and put them together, and we get Epiphone. If you take the E and the P off the front, you get iPhone. So we should sue them for that, I know. But anyway, so that's where we got our name, originally for a line of banjos, but then pretty much the entire company was called the Epiphone Company. And one of the most important things that happened during the New York years was he had a friend that was originally from Wisconsin. And then he played some bands in Chicago, radio shows, and he got on in New York with another radio show and stuff, and played in studios and whatever, became friends with Epi. And he asked Epi if he could use the Epiphone not showroom, but the Epiphone factory on the weekends when it's closed as a workshop, because he couldn't make that kind of noise in his apartment because his landlady apparently was not. I got a neighbor that way, you know. So one fateful day, this guy, we'll call him William, took a 4x4 piece of pine wood, and Epiphone neck and Epiphone body sides, the pickups he made himself, and put them together and created the internet. No, he made something he called the Log, which is the world's first solid body electric guitar. And we know William better as Lester William Pulpus, Les Paul. That guy, this guitar, yes. That was probably one of the biggest things. Now, I thought he was crazy at first with this thing, but he said, okay, fine, whatever, you know, and you're my bud, and this is crazy. Okay, fine. You know, and who knows, maybe Epiphone would have done something with it, but then that next year, World War II breaks out, and, well, things, they stopped making guitars for a while, they made other stuff. And Epi dies in 1943, so Les Paul kind of goes off on his own, and the brothers take over the company after the war and stuff. It's never quite the same, but the folks at Gibson found out about Les's crazy solid wood guitar design, and in 1952 they put out the Les Paul model. It's an artist model originally. People just think it's a type of guitar, but it's originally an artist model. You know, today we have like a slash Les Paul, so it's an artist model. So, you know, some kid that grows up someday in 30 years or so, maybe his name is John B. Good, you know, John. And he gets really famous, and so he played a slash when he was a kid. It was a slash Les Paul. So someday we'll have like an artist. It'll be like a Johnny B. Good slash Les Paul. Yeah.
That's a mouthful.
Yeah, so, yeah, put that in your pipe and smoke it for an hour. So, anyway, so back to our show.
I don't even think that's legal.
Well, it's not. It is in California now, everything is. So anyway, now back to our show, now back to our program, previously scheduled program. Meanwhile, Klinger's still dressed as a woman. So Les Paul comes out with the log, and, you know, he also invents solid body electric guitar, which I just said that. It's Thursday and I'm still asleep. Multi-track tape recording, because before that everybody had to be very good at the same time. And also reverb, looping, the internet, like I mentioned, and some other interesting things that we all enjoy. Also, he was a pretty famous studio musician, radio star, TV star, back in the early days when we only had one channel. Now we got 500 channels, there's still nothing to watch. And I'm paying money to watch commercials. There's something wrong with that.
Yeah,
and
especially when we watch a movie.
Yes, I'm paying money to watch commercials. And then I'm going to the store and checking myself out. We're all losing our minds. Anyway, all right, now back to our show. So you know how important Les Paul is. And meanwhile, at Epiphone, the brothers run things. It's never quite the same. And Les Paul hears that the last Stepapolo brother is going to sell out, and so he talks to folks into Gibson and buying us out in 1957. So May 10th, 1957, we became part of what is now called Gibson Brands Incorporated.
He was always a Les Paul, he was always a Gibson man, but also Epiphone.
That's right. You've watched my little thingy on YouTube, which of course it's like Tourette's. I'm just basically it's like I'm in the nursing home and I've got Alzheimer's and I'm just talking about, I'll be talking about Les Paul someday, like, Les Paul.
Never more watch because he always decided what time it was.
Yeah, yes, that's right, yes. You've heard
playing at jazz clubs all the way up till he died, 2 nights a week, if I'm not mistaken.
That's right, if you read him there in New York City, right under the Mamma Mia sign. We saw him together there one night. Anyway, but cool old dude. So yeah, unfortunately, you've spent too much time watching me on YouTube. But there's like these good prank videos and things you can watch. I'm telling you, I'll show you some better things. But anyway, back to our show again. Back to the history. Oh my gosh, what was I talking about? So we became part of Gibson. We're making Gibson makes Epiphone in Kalamazoo, where Gibson was during the '60s. The Beatles, you know, people like that start playing Epiphone. The Stones, you know, I'm a big Stones fan. The Kinks, and then of course, you know, you got blues artists like John Lee Hooker, Howlin' Wolf. I found a nice picture of Chuck Berry playing an Epiphone. That's cool, isn't it? You know, and all these, and of course Joe Pass. I'm a Joe Pass fan, and all these cool folks playing Epiphone. And then fast forward, you know, fight the import market. They moved us to Japan in the 1970s, and then into Korea and stuff. And now we have our own factories overseas. They're actually run by guys that we kidnapped from Gibson, USA. So it's sort of, you know, it's just like a movie Old School. We pull up in the middle of the night, the black van, pantyhose over the head. We throw them in the van and take off.
Those are hard to see out of.
Yes, they are. Well, trust me, I know. You didn't see me on Saturday night. But anyway, back to our show. So that's a little bit of Epiphone history. And after all that stuff happened, we are the #1 brand in our price point. We're the #1. We're just #1. We're just darn proud of it. Because we've got a passionate team of people here that, even though I'm a little silly, they are very brilliant and dedicated and passionate people. And that's why we're doing so darn well. We have amazing guitars. Like, what are you holding right now? The Matt Heafy 6-string?
Exactly.
About 2 or 3 weeks ago, I had a Sammy Hagar attack, and I had to sit down and pretty much tabs and charts and stuff and learn to play the entire song note by note of Heavy Metal by Sammy Hagar. Not the one on Stanley Hampton, which is a little weak.
Oh.
We're talking about the one on the Heavy Metal soundtrack, because it's just a little harder. So anyway, so I got very familiar with the Matt Heafy 6-string. I really like it. I like the fact it's got this little cutaway back in here. You can get up there high and stuff, and if you know what you're doing, it's even better. It sounds amazing. It's got sustain like all day long.
That's the active MGA 185.
Absolutely. Plus you've got
Already converted to run active pickups. Most Epiphones now, most of the new ones, already converted to run active pickups. If
Well,
you want to.
Well, yeah, you've got the EFG's got active. We've got passive active. Those are active, of course. And you know, you've got the set neck, the angled headstock, the tunematic bridge and stop bar tailpiece, which recycle vibrations through the guitar. And that's why, if you listen carefully, you'll still hear the notes playing on that I played on it 3 weeks ago, because it has that much sustain.
Exactly.
Yeah, I can hear it. I can hear it, yeah. Anyway, so that's why you want a Les Paul, because it has all that science going on. Of course, it's, you know, the SG was the Les Paul from 61 to 67. It's like when the Klingons didn't have the headpiece thing and what they talked about on Star Trek. But it was also the Les Paul for a while. And a Flying V, Explorer, Firebird, Epiphone, Wilshire, Crestwood families.
SG.
Well, I mentioned that. You're exactly right. And the Wilshire was the daddy of the SG. It came out 3 years before. How about that? Also, anything that's semi-hollow is also a Les Paul. It may not look like it, but it is. It has that solid piece of wood, and it has all the Les Paul sustain science going on. I've heard me make racket. Let me hear you play.
Too loud.
I'm more of a passive guy.
Very nice. I got an idea. Why don't you try a guitar that my favorite guitar to bang on at the house is the Emperor's Wingster. That would sound great on this. Trust me. Trust me, I'm a doctor. It's legal for me.
I'm not saying you're a doctor.
It's, I have a license to prescribe guitars worldwide. So try that and call me more. Those are our swingbuckers. They're oval round Alnico classics. Now what's interesting about that is right now you're playing in single coil mode. Now you're playing in humbucker mode. Go.
Coil tapping.
You can hear the difference. Single coil, humbucker.
Huge difference.
Sweet, very mellow from
Isn't
the
that nice?
pickup.
That's nice, isn't it? Now you're both, now you got both humbuckers rolling. That one wasn't turned up very loud, by the way, you can tell. I'm sorry. Do the jazz thing again. treble, either one with just the single or the double either, or you can put both on or both off. It's a very versatile guitar. Plus you've got the wire handle Bigsby's for some nice mini stuff. It's a very cool guitar, and it looks fantastic.
I love the dirty white binding. I love
That's part of the...
I mean, just like with my Les
it's
Paul.
the-
I've been here at the Epiphone Headquarters. I thank you very much, Miss Carr and Mr. Dr. Epiphone,
Mr. Reverend Dr. Epiphone, Esquire.
Will Jones.
What's left of him, Will Jones, or the latest Will Jones impersonator. Thank you for coming, John, and I appreciate you coming in here and bringing your fan base in here to see all the wonderful toys we have here in the toy box. And have you enjoyed the Mac EP6 string?
More than anyone would ever know.
I'm telling you, the other day when I had that Sammy Hagar attack, I really liked it. It's some good stuff. It's a good, great Les Paul.
And also I want to say, I may look calm, but I am silently exploding on the inside, but I cannot tell anybody that. Or it could also be the caffeine, I'm not sure which end. But once again, I really want to thank you guys for letting me come. This is such a huge opportunity, and it's such an honor for me to come and meet one of the most influential guitar companies that I've ever played with, some of the actual guitars that I just fall in love with. And once again, I'm so much
There's a really cool, Mel Blanc was on David Letterman, like 20, 30 years ago, whatever, when he was alive, and he interviewed him about all these voices. It's amazing, some of these voices, some of them I didn't. Anyway, interesting.
I mean, I know you guys are busy and stuff, but can you mind if I try the anniversary black
You got
pickups?
the black, well, the one with the lacy, that is actually, that's the Mastodon guy, that's the, Brett
That's
Mason.
fine. There we go.
Or not Brett Mason.
No.
Brett Hines, yeah, Brett Hines. God, I got the wrong guy. Brett Mason. Yeah.
We're going
Well,
here?
Yeah, that one, yeah. Card will get you up.
That's tight.
Yeah. So, but yeah, you just talk about that. We've never happened. Yeah, because I was traveling a lot back then, so just couldn't really make it. But he thought we were funny, whatever that crap was we used to do.
I hope your day was great.
This is my Epiphone Les Paul Custom Pro. I've actually had 3 guitars. This is my 3rd one. It is really my first guitar with Grover tuners, my first guitar with a set neck construction, and my first guitar that has coil tapping. And coil tapping, I'm sure you probably already know, pretty much you pull up. This right here controls the bridge with the bridge pickup, which is right there. Push down, it's a humbucker. Pull up, single coil. I am what I like to call a universal guitarist because I love playing a lot of things. I love playing all the way from groove metal, speed metal to, actually, believe it or not, a lot of blues, a lot of electric blues, and a lot of Louisiana style blues. And it's one of these guitars where if you feel bluesy at night, you can play it. If you feel real heavy, nasty, real low tuning, groove, death, you can play it just as well as you could blues on it. That's one thing I love it. A lot of it is down to the actual, down to a lot of the neck. It's a set neck, which a neck through the neck is built into the body. It goes all the way and through the guitar. Set neck is pretty much the neck is built, if think about it, kind of a quarter wave to kind of give it a little more simpler explanation, but it's built, it is set just right here, which, you know, some people, you know, like it, some people don't. And I think it's kind of in the middle between a good bolt-on chunky neck and a neck through. I mean, it just has, you get great tone out of it. It's got jumbo frets, which gives you a little extra meaty flavor, you know, a little extra tone. And where this is mahogany, it's a good thick wood. You can get a good mellow tone out of it, or you can throw in some EMG active pickups, and then it'll be able to hold the sustain for, you know, as long as you want, weeks even. And it's one of those guitars where, you know, you can buy one used for a lower price, and it'll be worth every penny, or you can buy it brand new and it'll be worth every penny. It's just one of the, just a good all-around guitar, and it's beautiful, very beautiful guitar. Well, at the moment it's really not. I've got dust on it. I've got fingerprints, and I think I may have a little bit of Mountain Dew on it. I mean, hey, that just adds character. It's a Anyway, I'm going to do a little bit of, you know, like I said, one of those guitars where wherever the mood takes you, you can play. Right now I'm going to start off with some kind of a bluesy kind of tone. For blues, I like using neck pickup. It's a little smoother, a little creamier, and I like to use single coil, because where single coil is a little bit more of a twangy, has a little bit more of a twangy tone from it. And what I will do is change to crunch, which is a little bit of a softer, less gain, less drive, but it's still very beautiful. Little good bluesy mellow tone. Good bluesy mellow tone. And you know, sometimes you want to get, you know, maybe a little heavier, maybe 70s hard rock, or maybe 70s pre-metal, which I kind of like doing a lot of myself, where I take a lot of inspiration from Mick Mars out of Motley Crue. Well, I was a little bit more than 70s hard rock, but in that ballpark. I'm John.
From the music on this mountain to the white lighted on my street, from picking on this old banjo, the guitar sitting on my knee, yeah. For the love and respect of the music, this is bridging the gap. For the love and respect